Shalom royalty, it's Ellie here, and today's video is going to be kind of serious. I know that I generally make serious topic videos because when we're in the faith, we do have to address things in a serious manner, even though it's lighthearted. But it's a lot of things going on, and if you are of Israel, or you recognize yourself as a Hebrew, then you may know New Breed till the world over. But if you don't know, it's New Breed, NUBREED, till the world over. Check out his YouTube channel. And he also made a new channel highlighting like certain types of news. And there was one video that he uploaded on that channel. It's a green like heartbeat symbol, like on a heart monitor at a hospital. That's the logo on it. New Breed Green Light News, something like that. I forgot exactly what it is. But he uploaded a video about satanic rituals, sacrifices specifically, that go on between the times of March 19th and May 1st. There's a reason for that. It's the spring equinox, the beginning of Aries season. And that is, Aries is a fire sign. And so automatically the masses, they're hyperactive, feeling a certain type of way. In March, that's after, Valentine's Day. That's also during tax season. This year we had stimulus checks and stuff, and PPP loans, EIDL loans, and all sorts of kickbacks from the government, and it's a mixture of distractions. We just had Passover, Easter, Resurrection Sunday, and now like Ramadan is going on. Lent is also during that time. It's a lot of things that happen during this time. And this is also a huge time of sacrifices. A lot of people pass away. The Prince passed away. DMX passed away. A few other individuals have passed on during this time. This was around the time that George Floyd passed away, and another gentleman passed away due to police violence. It's not a coincidence, and it's not, something that's done on accident. This is, not only is it a pattern that humanity goes through, there are people, entities who do things intentionally and on purpose to make sure that people stay in a certain vibration and frequency. That frequency is fear and grief. Those are the two emotions that they harp on, especially during this time. And of course, anger comes from a lot of those. And what I notice now is, for white people, they're really harping on the white guilt that's going on right now. I don't know if you guys saw the Coca-Cola employee training thing, and it was telling people how to be less white. That's completely inappropriate. And that's not even, I don't know who designed that. Like, they never came out with who was in charge of that project. But I mean, it's not about telling people to be less of who they are. It's about sharing the love of God, sharing the love of Yeshua, so that people treat other people better. You don't have to change who you are as a person. You just have to change how you treat other people. So if you have certain habits, as long as they don't affect other people, if you have certain habits, like if you like your food cooked a certain way, you don't have to stop doing that. As long as you're not appropriating somebody else's culture, you're not talking down to somebody, that's all it is. Like, we make jokes here and there about how people cook their food. I mean, okay. But we're talking about people dying in the streets. We're talking about people being fired from their jobs. We're talking about people's livelihoods being affected by racism. Like, that's a totally different situation. But I really wanted to talk about my generation, and I am asking for help. I'm asking for help from the older generations. I'm a 90s Generation Z. I was born in 1997, and so I'm one of the older ones. I'm 23 years old, and I have been an adult long enough to understand how this whole adulting thing works, but I'm also young enough to remember how my childhood was. And so when I talk to younger people who are in Generation Z, whether they still be teenagers or they are young adults, it's so much harder for them than it was for me. And that's saying a lot. I went through certain things in my family where I couldn't have like a regular childhood, which, it bothered me at the time. But as I got older, I was like, my parents are just trying. They're doing what they tried to do, and they did their best. But there are things going on right now that are out of any parent's control. And so even if it's like, oh, my parents did their best, it's still, you have to face the situation of there are so many individuals and circumstances outside of anyone's control right now, where even if your parent could have done better, they literally couldn't because someone else was interacting in that situation. And the main issue that I'm seeing with all of that is that, when we talk about, being in this world and not of this world, being in the Matrix and being red-pilled, being in 3D versus 5D, most people are still in 3D, and a lot of 5D kids have 3D parents, and that's scary. I had one of my young Hebrew brothers call me this morning crying about a situation that happened that could have been totally avoidable had the adults just been more responsible and been better people. We're still dealing with child abuse and pedophilia. Why? Why is this still a factor? A dude was arrested for shooting or identified for a shooting who used to be a deputy who got fired for child molestation, basically. Why? What? This doesn't make any sense. And we're not even talking about Gen Z anymore. Now you're in Generation Alpha. My child's 3 years old. He's in Generation Alpha. That's a whole different generation. So you have my generation, Generation Z, who is now we're trying to survive this matrix. We are trying to mentor the youth because we know how hard it is. And we're trying to better ourselves. All while some of us are parents, some of us have high-paying jobs that are important jobs. Some of us are teachers. And we just see how ridiculous all of this is. And so, for those of you who are older and you understand how important it is for the younger people to be able to, just not kill themselves. I read this. I don't think it was an article. I think it was a newscast or something where it was talking about 9 to 12-year-olds are committing suicide at a high rate. I didn't even know what that was at 9 or 12 years old. I didn't feel suicidal or anything till I was 16, but that was because I had, certain issues going on in my family. So kids are experiencing those issues way earlier in life. What is going on, y'all? Can y'all wait? I don't have everything together yet for us having a prayer call. But if, in your time, in your private time, if you could just please pray for the youth. I think the oldest Generation Zs are 25 or 26. So it's like one of those ages. Pretty much everybody born in the 90s and later. Some of those are millennials, but they're the younger millennials. They, they're still pretty young. Not quite 30 yet, most of them. And so, dude, it's so sad because a lot of this stuff has just been going on for such a long time. And it's like, why do we have smartphones? Why can't I touch my screen, record this video, upload it to a video platform, yet, a basic phone service doesn't work well all the time. It's that aspect of it. And then we still have people issues. So we have technology that does its job barely, but does a whole bunch of other stuff extremely, extremely well. And we still have people issues. We need to deal with the people before we deal with the technology. A lot of the technology has caused more of these issues. I mean, not caused, enhanced. Child trafficking used to be a job you had to really just be in. Now you can just go on the dark web and find kids for sale. This doesn't make any sense, man. It's like the more we try to do good, the worse things get. And it just sucks, man. Like, no one deserves what they're kids. They're children.
I'm not working, Mommy.
Okay, come here. They're literal children. Going through... You can't even... Like, a lot of adults don't even go through what the kids go through nowadays. And they never will. So they'll never truly understand. And that's the thing. When you're an adult, you can really do something about your problems because you have the resources to do so. Most likely you have a job or a means of getting money so you can change your situation. When you're a kid, it's less likely that you have a means of having finances of some sort. And even if you do, you're not old enough to do a lot by yourself. Like, they're constantly just trapped. And all they can think about is killing themselves. Because of how hard it is. And yet we tell these guys, pray, read your Bible, everything will be alright. Like, while that's true, there needs to be more action taken. I made a TikTok and Instagram post and Facebook post about Lil Nas X and how he represents this generation, basically. It's a huge cry for help. Despite what he did, it was a ritual and it was during this time of year, so I'm not surprised. As far as the music video, the blood in the shoe, all this stuff, trolling Christians, I knew that was a cry for help. And then to find out that his mom is dealing with drug addiction. Like, y'all want to get mad at the young man for being crazy and wild, but don't ask why he's being crazy and wild. How would you feel if your parents still dealt with drugs like on a serious basis? You're rich and famous and everything. You really have everything in the entire world. His song that got all that, controversy and all that stuff, it was #1 in the world for a while. I think they're planning to take it down off of streaming platforms and stuff. And, there was an issue where he said he was going to upload it to Pornhub. And I was like, yeah, he's going really, really far with this. Because, with that specifically, he knows his audience. He didn't build it like... a lot of people compare Cardi B and Lil Nas X and put them in the same boat, but it's like Cardi B started at the strip club. So you can't say that she built her audience off of children she built her audience off of the 21 plus fan base. Kids just got attracted to her because she just was popular. Lil Nas X built his audience off of children. And so to, say I didn't, you should monitor what your kids watch, blah, blah, blah. You got all these kids to subscribe to you on YouTube specifically, to follow you on Instagram, like your pages, follow you on TikTok. And now, you're complaining that the parents are not monitoring their children. No, you can't, as a creator, Lil Nas X, you need to be more responsible. That's totally inappropriate for you to do. It's way different for other artists and stuff. Like Disney people, they have to deal with what you're dealing with right now. They have to change their genre, change their audience gradually. And you didn't do that. So you can't blame the parents for this. You know who your audience is. You know who you're catering to. Okay? So don't even try to put it on the parents like that. You are fully aware. So don't even try that one. And then to say that since it's getting taken off of streaming platforms or major, streaming platforms and stuff like that, you're going to put it on Pornhub. Of all places, Vimeo? Come on, you could even say OnlyFans, because OnlyFans isn't just what people made it out to be as far as selling porn and stuff. You can put anything on OnlyFans. People just happen to use it a lot for doing sexual stuff on there. So, of all things to do, why do that? Because then you're leading millions. I'm not saying a couple. I'm not saying a few hundred. I'm not saying a few thousand. It was a loud pop outside. I'm not saying, a couple 100,000. Millions of children. Yes, sure, there's some adults. There's some people my age. There's some people older than me. But children, leading them to Pornhub. They can click on the link to the video and not scroll and explore, but they will still see an ad that could scar them for life. That's how it starts for a lot of kids. They see a pop-up ad and they go, what's that? That's how it started for me. That's how it started for my other siblings. That's how it starts for a lot of kids. All right, well, come to find out that was not a gunshot. That was a tree falling. So, I know that spooked a lot of people over in this area. We in the hood, so. Yeah, that was, you gotta go charge it up, okay? Go tell Tima. But, that's just a little bit on Lil Nas. He's going through a lot, and I understand because I've, followed the situation for a few years. And so it's I have sympathy for him on one hand, but I do want to hold him accountable for a lot of things on the other hand. But all I want to do is extend love to him because he represents a lot of us. Doing a bunch of crazy stuff, doing stuff online for clout, getting all this attention and money, still being upset and sad about what's going on in our family life. It's a lot. I actually have a headache, and I've had it since talking to my Hebrew brother earlier today. I ate, and I thought that was gonna help, but not really. So I'm gonna try to eat again and see, if I eat some warm food, will that help? But y'all just continue to pray for the younger generations right now, because it's not just, we're dealing with a lot. And a lot of the kids right now, after being a child during 2020 and then having to deal with the aftermath of 2020, it's the most unfair thing, man. Because, it's not like it was something that was out of anybody's control. That's the thing that they don't want to talk about. This was all planned. Whether you want to believe that or not, explain to me. I can't even say it. a lot of stuff's just getting banned on YouTube. I got a video removed from my podcast channel for medical misinformation. And it was a doctor talking. It was a certified doctor talking about the situation. My video got removed. So I'm going to just leave that where it is. I'll save that for my Facebook posts and on my website when I start doing more on there. I'm very tired. Like, I'm actually exhausted. I'm not sure if it's because of the headache or what. But, yeah. Y'all, we're crossing into a new season. Taurus season starts tomorrow. And even though we're moving from fire sign to earth sign, they're still going to push as much crap in our face as possible. And it's a lot to deal with. Like, I could feel my headache getting worse right now. So I'm going to go ahead and go. I know this wasn't the most lighthearted video, but I had to say something. I can't sit here and just let this stuff happen and not say anything. I think I uploaded my Lil Nas X video, or the younger generation video, on this channel. So, you know, you can go watch it if you want to, just to see what I had to say. I put like a text on there from my Facebook post that further explains a lot of things. I could read it. I'm going to go ahead and read it for you guys. I said, Lil Nas X is an exact representation of youth today. The kids do stuff for attention, and everyone gets mad at them. Meanwhile, they're going through hell at home. The focus is on the child/young person. They get all this hate and negativity, yet nobody looks at the home and check out root causes. All these quote-unquote Christians sending him hate and condemning him to hell without even trying to pray for the young man. After all this money and fame, he still has to face what's going on with his mom. Clout and riches don't make this man happy. He wants true happiness in his home, just like the rest of the youth today. Generation Z has the most difficult life. You can't argue with me. I don't care how much quote-unquote technology we have. We still have to deal with people on a regular basis who are emotionally immature and exercise their power over us just because of their age. Aren't elders supposed to know better? Aren't we supposed to respect them? How can we respect adults who don't even respect themselves? At 21 years old, I understand that most adults have no idea what they're doing. They blame other people for their problems. Just look at our government. What even is that? It's ridiculous. Millennials and Gen Z born in the 90s are doing our best to survive/thrive, be mentors to the youth, and still work with the older generations. Y'all wonder why suicide rates are so high. It's just depressing, man. So, you know. And I don't care how you feel about the border situation as well. Kids shouldn't have to be freaking trafficked and molested. It just shouldn't be. I don't know what type of demonic spirit that is, but that is one of the strongest ones that we have in this country. This country is a giant sex traffic ring. More information is going to come out about that very, very soon. This was not an accident either. And they want to talk about build a wall was racist when Trump said it. Yet Joe Biden gets to seize 6 acres of land from a family to continue building that same wall. And no one says anything. At least Trump probably would have gave them a few $1 million for the land before they just take it. And I can't say that. It's probably not true. I don't know. I just know that the situation would have happened differently under a different administration. I'm so tired. I'm sick of all this. I'm really sick of all this. This isn't me being suicidal either. I've been suicidal before, but I'm just exhausted. I do have a headache, so, you know, I'm just angry right now. I can't believe this is what we're dealing with right now. You'd think with all this technology and advancements and everything that we have in this life that things would be better. You don't have a tummy ache?
Yeah.
That's good. So I'm going to go ahead and go. Y'all pray for me. Pray for just all the young people. Pray for older people too, that they'll see the light and at least understand that if they can't, relate 100%, they'll at least be less cruel. Okay. Shalom royalty. I'll see you in the next one. Tawada.